We're going to hear first from Gunda, and she's going to tell us about the Lesbian Spring Festival in Germany and what's been happening there. Okay, so welcome, Gunda, and over to you.
I will talk to you today about in German, it's called Lesben Frühlingstreffen, in English, Lesbian Spring Festival, due to take place 21st to 23rd of May 2021. What is it? It is a traditional annual lesbian conference since almost 47 years, presenting a huge variety of nearly 70 events, including speeches, workshops, panel discussions, art exhibitions, music performances, and more. This year, the Lesbian Spring Festival, I call it LFT, has been planned as a virtual conference financed by donations and public funding and organized by a specific lesbian group. Who are the adversaries of LFT and their speakers? Around 30 trans activists and queer feminist groups in social media, magazines, newspapers, and individuals try to shut down the LFD since mid-April 2021. The Bremen Senator for Health, Women and Consumer Protection has withdrawn her patronage. One federal foundation, the Magnus Hirschfeld Stiftung, reporting to the federal justice minister, and one state foundation have distanced themselves from LFT. The board of LFT has issued a press release on 29th of April. Alarming. As to my view, there's a war going on between state-funded queer lesbians and autonomous gender-critical lesbians. Radical feminists are being imagined by some groups as an international conspiracy. You see LFT 2021 in the middle. On the right-hand side, you see, among others, my name, Julia Beck, some detransitioners, some butch lesbians, Angela Wild, organized in Lesbian Action Center or other organizations. And on the left side, you see, for example, Women's Human Rights Campaign and other organizations from Australia and worldwide. And we are all clicking together, conspiring together, and doing bad things. A good sign is that around 10 magazines, organizations, groups, and individuals have expressed their solidarity with LFT. That is WHRC. You will see a solidarity address on the website. Then the magazine Emma in Germany, then the feminist blog Störenfriedas, then Let's Reloaded, and others. Now you would like to know what are the reasons for the attacks. It's very easy told. The board of LFT has not explicitly invited so-called trans lesbians. Out of around 70 events, there are less than 10 gender-critical events. So that is enough. That is sufficient to create such an uproar among the queer community and the trans community. I've also been personally attacked. I will talk about 6 groups or individuals in social media. The teaser of my planned speech, the title is Gender Identity Instead of Sex, a Trojan Horse for Women or Endgame for Lesbians, has been criticized by the chairman of the Federal Foundation as being hostile towards trans-identified persons because I am claiming that trans-identified men would be a threat to women and their female spaces, and trans-identified persons, especially girls, would hide their homosexuality. As to the opinion of that chairman, it would ignore the gender identity and the self-determination of trans-identified persons. The group called Lesbians of North Rhine-Westphalia are assuming my right-wing attitude. The author of the so-called Männer magazine expresses her disgust about a loud lesbian minority having an inhuman ideology. The headline of that article, "TERFs are invading the lesbian community." The organization Let's Reloaded has been defamed as well. Lou Kortz, a trans-identified man, he has a logo with a baseball bat on Twitter, which is the symbol for beating up TERFs, as you know, tries to analyze my teaser, criticizing the binary sex model, the presumption of what a lesbian is, and the attempt to stir up fear against inclusion of trans-identified men into women's and lesbian spaces. The Taz, a left-wing newspaper, mentioned my deplatforming last year, adding that there had already been problems. My speech had been canceled by a gay and lesbian group after a shitstorm by the queer community in Berlin had broken out. What are the consequences? Several women, speakers, performers have withdrawn their commitment with LFT. The Senator of Bremen State has withdrawn her funding commitment and probably others as well. The board has financial problems and is planning to sue the Bremen State Senator in court for withdrawing its funding commitment. Nevertheless, the board is planning to realize LFT. As a background information for you, there's a parallel incident for hostility against lesbians. This federal foundation quit its membership of Queeres Kulturhaus, in English, Queer Culture House, because of an exhibition with works of lesbian artists without including trans persons. Afterwards, the Berlin Senator for Culture Affairs quit funding the Queeres Kulturhaus. In sum, at issue here is not hostility against trans persons on our side, but instead hostility against lesbians by this federal foundation. The chairman, by the way, will quit his job very soon on the initiative of the Justice Minister, but that is a side story. Thus, the project, now please show the photo, could not be realized. Yeah. That was a short introduction to a very serious event taking place in Germany right now.